mathematicians and people automate this stuff so we can find out exactly what everybody is taking, so that we can say, hey dude, you don't need that no more. Hey ma'am, you don't need that no more. And we cut the bill down, and the big one is to be able to negotiate the pills like the VA does.
Your spot on message.
And that'll take care of that number.
A good example is actually the North Carolina Medicaid program, long-term care program. They went in and looked at people in nursing homes and said, we're going to do a full review, have a doctor do a full review of everybody's medication, see what they're taking. On the average, I think they were taking about 9 prescriptions a month. And when they went in and looked at it and said, like we talked about before, you don't need this. You're still taking that. Why? Well, these two shouldn't be taken together. And they cut the number down. People's health is better. Costs are lower. It's common sense. That's why we're calling the things that we talk about with Medicare common sense solutions,
yes,
as opposed to these, really just blatant cuts or cautious on them. Yes.
Well, that touched on a question I was about to ask. If you're living in this New Jersey, this state, and you contemplate, people who retire contemplate moving on to other states, how does any of these things affect them as far as
Basically, it's the same. There are your Social Security stays the same. Your Medicare choices could change in terms of what Medicare Advantage plans are available to you, where you live. That can actually change within New Jersey. But basically, it's kind of the same. The same kind of, if you change something on this level, at the national level, it's going to affect everybody.
I have a question. I don't want to offend anybody when I ask this question. And like the young lady said, I've been paying in Social Security since I was 16. I was in the Social Security office, and you said that you have to be, at least 10 years to draw.
Yeah, 40 credits.
So how do other people come in this country and draw?
They're not getting Social Security.
What are they getting?
If you could apply for SSI, supplemental security.
Steal money.
And that is not Social Security. That's not paid for the ways we talked about. It's a separate discretionary program.
Because one time I was sitting in the Social Security, this lady,
They administer that.
yeah, brought her mother in. She hadn't been over here 6 months, and she applying for disability or Social Security or what? I don't know.
It would be SSI. Otherwise,
But yet they still get it.
that's a whole other issue.
That's why our Social Security is.
Well, no. Again, it's separate from Social Security.
Okay.
Social Security, the retirement benefits, the social insurance, the spouses, and the survivors and such. It's a separate program. Social Security Administration administers SSI, but it's a separately funded with general taxes, discretionary, we call it program. It's not relying on, it doesn't use Social Security taxes.
What did we do? We learned to turn it around. And when we were able to share with them, we were able to prove to them, okay, that if the child ate early in the morning and had a decent breakfast, the capability of observing, learning, skyrocket, and the grades and the productivity actually went up. That was the key.
That's so true. You need breakfast in the morning. You need breakfast. Because I did it yesterday, and I was just like, God, why not?
Yeah, and it could just be a fruit, anything, okay? But it makes a difference. It is the most important meal, And the younger you are, the more needed it is. So that example is something that we are doing, but I share with you again because when you're passionate, when you have a fight, or even if it's just for your job, okay? If you're finding an obstacle in there, look at who your audience is and shift it. What is their paradigm? What's going to make it work for them? And I think that for us was a perfect example. And there was nothing. They were looking at us, yeah, that's cool, yeah, that's right, yeah, keep it going on, sister, keep it going on. But they weren't going to move because it did nothing for what their ultimate goal. But when we were able to connect the two, so it's a strategy that I'd like to share with you. So we can move forward. Again, this talks about physical fitness. We concentrated on an area. The partnership concentrated on an area, North Ward in Trenton, because it was where the worst case of obesity, and we worked with one school monitor. We got the community involved. We actually built a playground. We brought in over $120,000. We got everybody over 400. It took about 400 volunteers to get this in. Okay. And nobody knew how to do this. I mean, this wasn't this high pay. We just, started knocking on doors, and some teachers, 2 teachers here, Mrs. Smith down the block, a few parents. We got some administrators, okay, and built the playground. Okay, yeah, great, we built the playground. But what happened when the school closed? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful playground. Now the community is upset because they can't get in. Okay, you got us psyched. You got us to the point where we want to go and take the kids to the park and get them some physical activity, and do something, but we can't get in. So that's the next level. Working with the school systems to have, let this community in. The schools have kitchens. How are you going to get someone to eat well, and eat fresh and cook? Okay, give them cooking lessons on, how to prepare, something in 5 minutes for your kids, and you keep on going because you have 2 jobs. Okay, but if they don't have the kitchen, if they don't have the pots and pans, here's a school kitchen fully loaded that, again, nobody can use. So those are some of the things, some of the efforts that we're working on, getting joint use agreement, let this community come into your schools. And I don't want by any way to give you the impression that the schools are not being collaborative. They are. It's just, throughout the year, it wasn't the interest, suits came and so now we have to come back and as a community approach this and say, okay, yeah, there are these issues, liability, there's all this kind of stuff, but it's an agenda that we must all have because it's affecting the kids that you have in the school and your educational goals. It's affecting the doctors. It's affecting the us. How many of us have children? I have grandchildren. How many of us have children that you're constantly going to the doctor because of the asthma attack? Okay, you yourself, chronic disease. We know that right now. Again, the hearts. I mean, people are now dying of strokes and of heart attacks at 50. When we're so advanced, and that partially is all due to the whole issue of obesity and overweight.
More than what even the Star Ledger is doing, you'll find out that the budgets are being balanced on the backs of people who didn't upside down this economy in the first place. So we have all kinds of things on the line, including whether or not we will support a difficulty in being able to vote and having extra requirements based upon us, because that's the wave of the nation. And you see the wave of this governor is very much somewhere between the wave of the nation for 2016 and the presidential. I know I got to be a little bit more moderate because I'm in New Jersey. This is a very difficult time, a very trying time. Y'all are dependable voters. You and African American women, 55 years and older. But what we need you to do is not just vote, but tell your family and your friends and everybody in those circles that you are in, church, senior citizen programs, and otherwise, please vote because your life does depend upon it. Thank you and God bless. Thank you so much,
Everyone, to our close, we do need the surveys back, but also know that your chains have been broken. Your chains have been broken. And I want to say that one more time. Your chains have been broken. We are not in bond anymore. And we don't want to go backward. We want to continue to go forward. So we need to go and vote. And that's why it's so important that you vote as if your life depends on it. Because our chains, my chains, yours, have been broken from all those who have sacrificed. Anybody ever heard of the Freedom Singers? All of those people who have sacrificed for us to have freedom today, they did that for each and every one of us to continue to not have to endure what they went through. So remember, let's just continue to look forward. Know your elected officials. Know that your county office on aging could be of access to you guys. Because if you know your county office on aging, you can ask them, what do you guys put out for us? If they offer senior transportation, find out who votes on your transportation in your county. If they offer nutrition centers, find out who votes on the nutrition programs in your county. Go to your elected officials. Know what comes out of the programs. We need to make sure we continue to go forward. Yes. Sure. Any other questions?
Any questions from anybody? You guys have been most polite. Thank you all so much for being attentive and letting us ramble on. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
It's hard to get you to places like this. How can we get you all to our youth?
If you get the youth together, you invite us and we'll come. I'll give you my number. Pass them up. Back to us. Because we go all year to different pockets of people that invite us. That's part of what we do. And we work also with the NAACP sometimes, depending on the issue we may have to. Because we all went to court to try to block this election. But of course, we didn't win it because the judge was afraid of him. They're going to do what he said. Because we filed, NAACP, and a couple other organizations filed to stop the October election. Because, you know, you cut programs and you spend all this extra millions of dollars that you claim you don't have. But for that special election. So they're taking your money and playing games with it. I never forget when he changed the senior money for the property taxes to give you $1,200 for disabled. He said, people don't want to get checks. They don't want no checks. I'm going to send the money to the municipality. So now they're doing what, $400 and something? And we're getting into it. So these are the things that we need to concern ourselves.
$10. Price it whatever you want. All right? All it takes is some time and the greatest asset you have. Your mind. That's the great thing about this, y'all. It's yours. You can do it. You can write a 30-page book or a 300-page book. It's up to you. You can take one big old book and cut it up into 10 books and make money off each book. That's 10 different checks. 10 different checks. Most millionaires have 7 different forms of money coming to them every day. 7. That's the magic number, 7. I'm working on number 4 right now. I'm 3, I'm like halfway there. I'm like a half a millionaire. I'm working there. I'm serious. The average number is 7. Look at the Facebook dude, Mark Zuckerberg. Who's he? A nerd? I'm a nerd. What do you have, a laptop? I got a laptop. What do you have, an idea? I got a bunch of ideas. Right? What is he, 26, worth 19 billion? He's 26, worth 19 billion. Like, seriously. 26, the kid still wears Asics gel shoes and jeans and t-shirts and a hoodie to meetings. Like, what are you going to tell him? He's worth 19 billion. I'm telling him to put a suit on? Nah, I'm good. Right? I want you guys to really, one of the notes you said, she took notes from the thing earlier, and one of them that hit me, you remember which one it was? Say it loud!
Find something you're passionate about and follow it no matter what.
No matter who says it's whack, no matter who says you can't do it, no matter who says, no, that ain't gonna work, no, you're not talented enough, no, you're not smart enough, no, you're not white enough. You know what you do? You know what I do to people? They say I can't do stuff. I say, can you do me a favor? Can you smile? They're like, smile for what? I'm like, smile. And they smile and I say, and I save them on my phone. So every time they call, I want to answer, right? And I'm going to save them all as one name, right? Naysayer. Naysayer 1, Naysayer 2, Naysayer 3, right? We're going to keep going. And when you do it, what do? You take a picture of whatever it is they said you couldn't do, whether it was a book or a check. You send a picture of that check to all the naysayers. And what they going to say then? You still can't, you did it, right? Just be like, cheese, Mr. Naysayer, right? That's what I do. So people going to trample you and try to shut you down the rest of your lives. Don't expect that to ever stop. As long as you're being yourself and you're focused, you got that extreme hustle and a positive attitude, you'll be all right. I promise. And if I'm wrong,
We'll come back to
What do I say if I'm wrong?
You say guarantee.
100% money back guarantee. Any other questions? Yes.
You want your spring hustle? You want your spring hustle?
Absolutely. What? I did the workshop yesterday here, social media for senior citizens. That room had me cracking up. Really, once you get to a certain age, like the filter between your brain and your mouth kind of lessens a little bit. So it was saying. And then yesterday I did a workshop at Newark Museum with the Future Explorers program, which is a science program at Newark Museum. I did a workshop there. We did vision boards. I'm very visual, so I had them cut out pictures and stuff of their vision, what they wanted for their lives. And I'm doing a workshop here today, and after this I'm going back to the office. And I'm at that table out there, the one, the blue table that says GNEC on it. I'm out there too. That's one of my clients.
The importance of that, saying thank you, saying excuse me, it helps you out. Like I told you, I was in the city of trade, and there's a lot of violence going on, but wherever I went, I just respect people, and it just kept me out of harm's way, just by showing people respect. Hey man, how you doing? See them high. Because you can't come in here like the brothers are looking at us, and we looking good, and we acting like these guys don't matter. Because when you do that, that's a problem. So we might order. I might go in the restaurant in the hood and grab something to eat. The food is a little cheaper, so sometimes I might go in there. But when I go, guess what? If they need something, I might hook them up. But I'm saying, but guess what? There's going to be a connection. I'm not going to walk by them like I don't even know you, and like I'm better than you, because they can sense when they think that you think you're better than them. That's why I tell y'all, when you get this information, you have to share it with people in a certain way. Oh man, I was at this thing today. Brother was speaking. We had a lot of positive men in here. Man, it was good. Next year, I want you to come with me. You know how me and you are. We cool. And then that encourages them, and they'll be like, all right, I'm in. But if you go back and be like, oh man, I ain't messing with y'all, man. Y'all smoking, man. I'm better than y'all. Then I ain't gonna work. That's not gonna fly. Because guess what? You're still working on yourself. You're not all the way there yet. I don't expect you to leave here and just make this 360-degree turn, and then all of a sudden you're not even messing with anybody. It's going to take time. That's why you got to know and start to understand these steps. And that last thing with trustworthy friends, you have to understand that. You need trustworthy friends. People that's going to hold you accountable. Okay? Now, I love the gentleman, the guy named Hill Harper. Who heard of Hill Harper? And he got the book Letters to a Young Brother. That book first got me into mentoring because, Hill Harper came from a nice background. His father was like a dentist, his grandfather was a dentist. The family had some issues, but they sent him to private school and things like that. He went to college with Barack Obama. So intelligent man, and he just chose acting. But he wrote this book. But you know what he said? They was interviewing him, and they said, listen, they said, you have it, because he was going into jail talking to the young boys, young men. And they said, you're not from the jail. How did you go in there and talk to him? You know what he said? He says, because all I do is I look them in the eye, and they know I mean it. What I say, I mean. So all I'm telling people is, they don't have to be where you're from. Because I don't like that. I don't like when people go out and they speak when they're talking to the youth, and you'll have somebody else say, man, he's not even from the hood. What difference do it make? So what? Because his family did the right thing and made right decisions. What's the big deal? It's the truth. It's going to help you. That's all that counts.